Several months ago, I posted an episode about this box set from Indicator called Enter Santo, The First Adventures of the Silver Masked Man. Now, if you want to know more about the character of Santo and the background, I suggest you check out that episode. I'll try to put a link to it in the show notes down below. But for now, we're going to fast forward 12 years from 1961 to 1973, and things have changed quite a bit for our hero. And that brings us to today's film. This is the Kazdoy Closet. I'm Kazdoy. That's my closet full of all the stuff that I love. And today, a Santo film that many consider the best one in the series, and one that may remind you of another film franchise that still exists today. Let's check it out. Today's film is Santo Vs. Dr. Death from 1973, and 97 minutes long, in color and in Spanish with English subtitles. This is about Santo being hired by Interpol to investigate some counterfeit art dealers in Spain. Now that is the simple version of this plot, because the entire plot is ridiculous, insane, and convoluted. I thought it was just me not understanding it. I watched the first half hour a couple of times. I watched it once dubbed in English to see if maybe the subtitles were throwing me off. But a critic on the video essay included here proved me right by saying that this was, quote, an over-elaborate plot. Put it this way, Dr. Death wants to have the greatest art collection in the world. So his accomplices temporarily ruin the real paintings in the Prado Museum in Spain with a formula that the doctor has created using tumors that he grows in female models that he keeps in the cellar of his castle. Got all that? Then he replaces the real paintings with fake ones, restores the originals, keeps that for his collection. As for the models themselves, they die after the tumors are extracted, and he slides them down the slide into a big vat of acid. If that sounds insane, well, it really is. And I have no idea why these accomplices are helping Dr. Death do this. I don't see any money exchanging hands. I don't know what they're getting out of it, but that's what's happening in this film. Now, right off the bat, the vibe in this film is like secret agent films and TV shows of the 60s and 70s. We have the bad guys using all kinds of high-tech equipment of the time with a bunch of flashing lights and switches and small video monitors. There's a twangy electric guitar kind of rock soundtrack to this, very similar to the James Bond theme. I think you know what I'm talking about there, and that goes throughout the whole film. The production values in the film are light years ahead of the first two films I saw, and this one's in color, whereas the other ones were in black and white. There are a few set pieces throughout the film. There are about 3 wrestling matches interspersed throughout the film, and I thought it just kind of slowed everything down. I'm not a wrestling fan, though, so I guess they had to put those in there for the fans for some reason. And interesting though, the crowd, the men in the crowd of the wrestling matches are all wearing suits and ties for some reason, like it was some formal event. I don't know why that happened. The fight scenes with Santo and the bad guys, those are very well done, I thought. It shows that he's kind of vulnerable. He doesn't, he doesn't overwhelm the fight scenes. He takes a few punches himself, but then he has some wrestling moves that he shows in the fight scenes that I thought were really entertaining. There is a really good sequence with Santo running after Dr. Death and the tunnels underneath Dr. Death's castle, and Santo has to avoid all the booby traps set up. And then there's a big ending involving Santo, a helicopter, and a speedboat. That's pretty well done. And if you want to check that out, just look at the trailer for this film and you'll see that in the trailer. So they really kind of show that off. As for Santo himself, I still like his presence in these films. I think he's a good hero. He's a man of few words, which is appropriate. Why he's wearing this full head bright silver mask, I guess to conceal his identity, but nobody asks him about it. Nobody attempts to take the mask off. He's walking through airports and down streets with a mask on. He's wearing a suit and tie or a turtleneck with a sport coat and this full head mask. and even meeting people for the first time in their offices and stuff. Nobody says anything about him to his mask, which is kind of surreal in a way, but I kind of like that. By the way, there are 2 female undercover agents, and they are exposed finally, so they're trying to escape the castle, and they're running through the tunnels of the castle wearing see-through nightgowns, and they are completely topless. So I don't know why they put that in there. Maybe because this is a kids film, so they want something for the adults. Maybe it's a reference to the 007 films and the Bond girls in those films. But I guess the censors didn't care about that. Here's the bottom line. This one is a favorite of Santo and a favorite of the critics. So if you're at all curious about these Santo films, I would recommend checking this one out. My rating for Santo Vs. Dr. Death, I'm going to give this one 3.5 paintings out of 5. It's campy, it's funny, it's ridiculous, and very entertaining. So what's on this disc? This is a Vinegar Syndrome disc. It comes with a very nice rigid slipcase. The disc comes out like that. So very nice artwork, really well done. And here is the disc itself. The problem is, if you can see, once you slide it into the slipcase, it ruins the plastic here on the top. And that's kind of a drag, depending on how OCD you are. And it bugged me at first. I even tried replacing this case with a different one. Didn't matter. So the slipcase is a little too tight, apparently. So you kind of have to jimmy it in there, trying not to damage it too much. Anyways, as far as the extras go, it's in Spanish with English subtitles. There's a dub version. As I mentioned, I watched a little bit of that. It's terrible. I mean, it's too distracting. The voices are way off. So I would not recommend that at all. Spanish with English subtitles is the way to go. Picture quality is very good. The main extra is a video essay with a critic in Spanish with subtitles. That's about 15 minutes long, and that was quite good. And there's a reversible artwork. So you see the artwork here, and there's a poster inside, which is basically this and that. That's the poster. So where can you see Santo Vs. Dr. Death? You can buy it still. It's a limited edition of 5,000 copies, but apparently they're still around, so I don't know what the market is for these right now. It's on YouTube, I think, for free, so if you want to check it out there, you can check it out on YouTube for free. I don't know if Vinegar Syndrome or Indicator are going to make more Santo films. I guess it depends how well they sell. If they do, will I be getting them? I guess it depends on what else is on those discs, right? So feel free to leave a comment or suggestion down below here. I would like to thank the following people for leaving comments since our last episode: Tina, Michael, Yolanda, and Jeff. Thank you so much. Feel free to leave a thumbs up. Don't leave a thumbs down. Subscribe would be great. Share this with your friends and neighbors. I am so happy to announce that we have reached our goal of 600 subscribers. So this toast is for you. Let me try that again. Thank you so much for subscribing. I can't express how happy I am to reach that many subscribers and how surprised I am, really. So our next goal is 625, so let's keep it going. And welcome Jeff, our newest subscriber. Subscribing is free. Also free is we're on Letterboxd. That's where we leave brief written reviews of other things we're watching. Most recently, the horror film Perpetrator. So you want to check that out. That's under the Kazdoy closet. And there's a link down below how to get onto Letterboxd. So anyways, hope you like this one. Thanks again for subscribing and helping us reach our goal. And I'll see you next time.